Hi, everybody. We are live. I'm Joella Newman. I'm the founder and owner of Transforming Your Tomorrows, a life and business coaching company. And I post every Wednesday night a Facebook Live program on my Facebook, on YouTube, and it will be available tomorrow on LinkedIn. And the show, as you know, is Entrepreneurs on the Rise. And every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, I get the joy and honor of hosting some phenomenal entrepreneurs across this country. So tonight, I have Judy Dang that I met actually from another networking group through a person. The web is so integrated across this world, and I just love it. It really gave me the opportunity to meet someone phenomenal in helping, especially coaches and entrepreneurs out there, get things done. So tonight, Judy is going to talk about the mindset and the tactics of being happy and productive as an entrepreneur. Sometimes they don't add up. Judy Dang is a planning and action strategist for solopreneurs. She helps them turn their ideas and goals into action. Instead of starting 57 ideas and never finishing them, clients learn to cut through the noise and focus on priorities that drive business forward. Judy is the creator of the Goal Getter Formula, a 5-step process for getting clear on your top priorities and the action steps to achieving them with ease and confidence. And when not working, she can be found making her favorite desserts, especially her famous tiramisu. So I'm going to have to fly out to California, Judy, to try some of that tiramisu. Yeah, I've got lots of friends out there. So welcome, Judy, and welcome to all the listeners. We know that your time is valuable, and we know you've got lots of places, but I'm telling you, tonight, this is the place to be. Judy Dang.
Thank you very much, Jo Ellen. So I'm going to start off with a whiteboard. I use whiteboards a lot with my webinars and my teaching. And so I wanted to share, I did a quick numbers run of what happened in 2020 for me during the year of the pandemic. And this is what resulted. It was my best year personally and professionally.
Wow.
And I want to demonstrate that having the mindset and the tactics for being happy and productive is completely possible.
Yeah.
The mindset and the tactics for being happy and productive, they go together. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. But I wanted to demonstrate, like 25 clients I had last year, 13 speaking opportunities. I was on 3 podcasts, featured on Forbes. I had time to read 33 books and take 4 mini vacations. All of this during a really tumultuous year.
Wow. That's pretty significant when a lot of people were worried about how am I going to shift my business from maybe a brick and mortar, type of framework to everything online or, delivery or things like that. And you did it. That's a big success year.
Yes, it was. I was really proud of myself. I was astounded when I ran the numbers. So a lot of people ask me, how do you define productivity? And usually that's very intriguing for me. So I want to ask you, how do you, Jo Ellen, define productivity? And then I'll give you my definition.
Okay, my productivity is really based on what have I have 2 levels of productivity. One, am I moving my to-do list in my business? Are my little tasks, because for me, they're just as important toward the end goal. Am I moving them along? And if I'm not, that's a warning sign for me. And then have I kept the true productivity is as I've moved things along, my day-to-day stuff, has it resulted in something that is valuable to my clients? So I can create, but if it's not meeting their needs and offering a high level value, then I've really created a lot of wasted time. I mean, maybe I can save it for, another time, another place, but it really has to, at the end result, create a value that my clients need that they didn't heretofore have in their toolbox. And so that to me is productivity.
Okay, so getting things done in your business, the day-to-day, moving things forward, and then bringing value to your clients.
Right.
Okay, here's my definition.
Okay.
I asked myself, it's pretty vague.
Oh no, I love it.
Loose. because it's not a set in stone, like number of hours, number of
Right.
time, money. It's more like, am I working on my priorities on more days than not?
I love that.
It's not every day. It's not all the time, but generally, do I feel like on more days than not, am I working on my priorities?
I love that.
So
Because
hear that again.
yeah. Am I working on my priorities more days than not? And for me, that really says you're giving yourself the grace
Yes,
to say, oh, I didn't get to it today, but okay.
that's okay. Yeah. Things happen. Things happen all the time. When we make plans, and I help people with creating their action plans, their strategies, we make these ideal plans in a perfect world.
Right.
Like in a very perfect world, these are my plans. Like for me, I have a plan on my wall right here. These are the things I want to achieve this week, next week, this month. That's in an ideal world.
Right.
And I know things will come up.
Right.
I get sick. Something will happen in my family. A pandemic.
Right.
So having that grace to say, generally on more days than not,
Right.
am I working on my priorities? And so that's what I'd like to underline for folks on define priorities define your definition of productivity first. Get clear on what it means for you really clearly, not what you see on social media, not what a family member says or a peer, but for yourself personally. Put stakes in the ground on what does productivity mean for me, and add some grace to that for sure. Yeah. So that the first step is having a mindset of what is productivity mean for me. The second is I want to talk about happiness and productivity. We often think that it goes as soon as I get my things done, as soon as I get to check off my list, then I'll be happy. Then I'll be happy.
Right.
Then I'll feel good. Well, Professor Laurie Santos from Yale actually discovered that it's the reverse. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's the reverse. That happiness leads to productivity. The arrow goes that way.
Wow.
So start here.
Right.
In my day-to-day practice, how that works for me is when I plan out my year, like on my board here, I have an annual plan using Post-its. I use hot pink for self-care and vacations and personal time. Hot pink, really bright. And I plan those into my year first.
Oh, I love it.
Not last. I add vacations to my annual plan first.
I love that.
Practice that happiness.
Yeah. Right.
Because then my work life will work around my self-care, not the other way around. Not when I have time, then I'll take care of myself.
Right.
I just had a phone call today with a former colleague, and he said, "Oh, I'm gonna, I want to take some vacation, but let me get a couple of deals in first, and then I might take a break." And I said, "Luca, do it the other way. Mm-hmm. Do it the other way. Schedule that vacation in a month, 2 months, and then you'll have something to work towards, right?
Right.
And you'll have a schedule. Like, okay, I'm going to be on vacation in May. What does this look like for March and April for me?" Yeah. So that's my second tip for everyone today. Start with happiness first. Yeah. And productivity will come after. That's the mindset.
I love that, but because I think in everything we do, and with my whole brain coaching, I tell people, I do evidence-based coaching. I have them, kind of evaluate where are you sitting in your heart and in your gut right now before we start, and let's get a numerical, identity to that 1 to 10, and and so it kind of measures like their vibration or how they're feeling. Just like the pain scale on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling? And I think, the whole purpose, at least in my type of coaching, is how can I get you into a better state of feeling so that you can produce, right? So one of the analogies I used to give, doctors and very left brain people in the corporate world, I said, when you do your best work, when you're feeling really great, when you're excited, when you met the love of your life and your partner, and it's like you weren't together with them yet. You were just getting to know each other, but there was that natural attraction, right? You're all excited, you're happy. Your life, nothing goes wrong in that phase, right? And when you can reach out and work and live from a state of happiness, you automatically are producing more and you're happy with it. So that makes total sense. I'm glad somebody validated that with a scientific approach. But there is huge assets in terms of an entrepreneur and what they want to produce and how they want to produce it. Start from that core heart center first. Very, very.
Okay. Yeah. So let's move on to some tactics here. First thing I recommend for entrepreneurs is to set office hours.
Mm-hmm.
Set office hours of business hours for yourself. I've recently, last couple of weeks, I've had conversations with people saying, I have discovery calls at night and on weekends, and they're all over the place, and I'm tired. And my advice was, you set office hours for yourself first.
Yeah.
And then your prospects will work around that. Yeah, have some, exceptions for, special occasions or, people who can't meet during the day, but sure. But in general, when I use Calendly, the, online scheduling app, for me, I set Calendly to be available only Tuesdays, 3 to 5, and Thursdays, 10 to 12. Those are the only times I have open slots for potential clients for discovery calls. And I have them in 30-minute increments. So there are 8 options a week. And if people can't make it, sure, I'll make an exception and schedule something else. But in general, you set your schedule. You define your business hours. And especially if you're doing pandemic parenting right now, it's really hard to juggle it all. So you set your boundaries first. And I have a prompt for that. Okay, this is how we usually think of our time, as a Ziploc bag. Like we stuff things in, like add things. Like I can add, PTA and volunteering and a board and taking this class and I'm going to join this program and joint venture and marketing. And like we just add things in. And then eventually, holes, and we break it and the things fall over and it's just like a blob. And so I teach clients on treating their time like a crystal vase, treating themselves like a crystal vase.
I love that.
With firm edges. Because when we're firm with ourselves, we can show up, more confident, more positive, like this is me. I'm not going to be contorting like a Ziploc bag.
I love it.
I have.
Yeah, it's rigid.
Yep. And yes, of course, I'm flexible, but in general, on more days than not, this is me.
Right.
Small opening. I only let, certain things go in.
That makes so much sense, because I think one of the things, and I was just writing on posting with this, is one of the things that makes Olympians successful is that there's a rigid, and maybe rigid isn't the best word, but there's rigid protocols on your hours of training and what you're following, and like you said, we can be flexible, but having a set boundary really holds us all in. Like we do that with kids. We do that when we're learning. We do that when we're in college. You have to show up for this, college physics course from this time to this time. I'm not going to waver from that, And so I think that's really paramount. And I think I really see entrepreneurs not doing that.
It's
All
hard.
the time, all the time. It's like,
hard.
well, I'm really not going into, if they do, they might work in an office sometimes he's still as an entrepreneur and an independent contractor. And it's like, no, you got to set your hours, define them, so I love that. That's powerful.
Yeah. So maybe let's change the word rigid. Let's choose another word, rigid, to like intentional.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. It's softer, but it's clear.
Intentional.
Yeah. Clear.
Okay. I like that. Okay. My next tip is, this is more tactics, is stop using your brain as a file cabinet.
Oh my God. I love this.
Stop using your brain is not a file cabinet. Stop using your brain as a file cabinet. That's advice from David Allen, Getting Things Done. So when we try to remember like, due dates for client work, when are the tax payments due? When should I buy my mom's birthday present so I can mail it to her? Like, keeping all of that in our heads is a really bad use of our beautiful brains. So how to stop using your brain as a filing cabinet is every time you have a thought, an idea, get it out on paper, record it on your phone, jot it down somewhere, have a notebook, whatever it is. Stop using your brain as a file cabinet.
Yeah, I love that.
Trying to remember, when you think, oh, I'm going to remember that, or I should remember that, like, no, it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Get it out.
It's a great idea, because I think that in terms of stop using your brain as a file cabinet, because I will tell you, you guys, I know we're running a little bit. For me, I talk a lot. It's just working with Judy. She was able to say, Joellen, just get it organized. And I will tell you, just from working with her a little bit, I got so much done between and holding me accountable. I mean, it's just like amazing. It's like I didn't have to worry about it anymore. I wrote it down. I was organized. I was ready to go.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Amazing.
Wasn't it? I mean, we laid out your action plan in like 20 minutes, right?
Oh yeah.
On paper, on Post-it.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I recognized, I said, Judy, I need your help, because I'm not getting something done that I wanted to get done. And I'm going, first of all, that's interesting. Why am I not getting this done? Right. I had to pay attention to that. But, and I have my work hours and I have my, family hours and commitments, but other things started creeping in. And it was making an impact in terms of what I was doing, getting done. And so just my reset with you was amazing.
Ah,
Yeah, totally. I'm a huge fan.
thank you.
You're
We
welcome.
talked about mindset a little bit. We talked about defining our own definition of productivity. We talked about happiness first, productivity after, how to stop using a Ziploc bag and treat our time like a crystal vase. Stop using your brain as a file cabinet. Do we have time for one last tactic? Yes. Okay. One last tactic is to plan your day in the morning when you're having coffee, tea, get yourself ready for the day. Put your top 3 tasks on a Post-it like this.
Oh, I love it.
Essential, like this is what I want to, top 3. I mean, our to-do lists are like miles long. I get that.
Right.
I get that. We all have that. But when you do this every day, you focus on these are what I want to do first. And if you can get one of those done before diving into email, you're going to be way ahead.
Yeah.
Nuts. Nuts. Sucked into email.
I know. Email is a killer.
So if you can do this the night before,
yeah,
that gives you more relaxed sleep as well. So you can sleep better knowing, I know what I'm doing tomorrow. I know what my priorities are.
Yeah, and you know what your priority is, and you go to sleep, and frankly, you sleep better.
Yeah,
you really do. Because I've done the opposite at times, and I'm not a great sleeper to begin with. But when I have my days, it's like I know what I've got to do tomorrow. I'm ready to go. I've got things set out, I can, like, I don't have to empty my brain. Like, don't use my brain as if I learned from you. I'm going, oh my God, I love that. Yes. Oh, Leslie writes, let me see. She writes, yes, email totally takes up too much time. It is a black hole. You get in there and it's like hours of cleaning it out. So Leslie, just look at all those notes that I put in Facebook or wherever you're from right now. I think you're watching us on Facebook. That, just go through that and define what productivity means to you. Start with happiness. And then what that comes out of is beautiful productivity. And then set your office hours, your business hours. And that's intentional. They're intentions. Yes, working out of a crystal vase. Yeah, right. Intentional hours. And then stop using your brain as a file cabinet. And then finally put your top 3 to-do lists on a Post-it note. You know where they're. Yes, perfect. Before diving into email. Yes. And so if anybody's, I know I'm going to have a lot of replays, people listening on the replay, but definitely reach out to Judy. If you need help, if you want to be part of a group coaching program where she gets people, organized and gets work done. Oh my God, I can't wait to get into it. But reach out at her at avidatwork.com. She's amazing. I'm telling you that I just worked with her a little bit and it's like, I got shit done, guys. I got a lot done. I planned out my entire week and I looked at like, oh, what's my next steps now? Like, what do I need to go? But for me too, I believe in coaches having coaches. Like, you have to keep going. Yes. And Leslie says, yes, email takes totally too much time. Definitely got to do this. So I know I've got people who said, how do I listen tonight? So if they're not listening live, I know they're going to listen on the replay. So I'm going to wrap up, but Judy, this was amazing. I love you. I love what you do. You guys can see in her background, her whole plans with Post-it notes, and you might think that that's old school. I'm telling you, it works. It is so flippin' amazing that if I could work around on my room here, I could show you my Post-it note that I learned from Judy. So I like being productive. I like people who think like that. She's an amazing soul who gets people really creating. Just remember what she created last year: 25 new clients, 4 vacations, made money. I mean, all those things. This isn't just right brain creative stuff. This is left brain logical ROI stuff. So I totally believe in it. So thank you for coming tonight, Judy.
Super fun, really fun being with you.
You're welcome. So you guys, if you have any questions, remember to reach out to Avid at Work. I'm going to post that in Facebook as well, so you can find it. And we will see you next week at Wednesday night at 8:00 with my next guest. And let's see, do I have any more messages? I want to look real quick and make sure I've gotten we'll listen to the replay too. So perfect. All right. So thank you all for being here. I love you all. And thank you, Judy. This was a great little show. Thank you. Bye, you guys.
Bye.